Alright Knicks fans, this conversation just took another turn. After yesterday's Cam Whitmore debate on our last video absolutely exploded in the comments, a lot of you said something loud and clear: we would rather Jeremy Sochan than Whitmore. And now there's a new wrinkle. Yesterday, the NBA Trade Report account on Twitter reported that the Knicks have expressed interest in acquiring Spurs power forward Jeremy Sochan. Now, to be very clear, this has not been confirmed by any one of Ian Begley, Stefan Bondy, Shams, or anyone else yet, so we're treating this carefully. And when you combine the fan sentiment, ESPN's recent trade frameworks, and the Knicks' very real roster plus financial situation, it opens up a legitimate debate the Knicks may actually be weighing in right now. So today we're asking the real question: if the Knicks move Guerschon Yabusele, who makes more sense, Jeremy Sochan or Zeke Nnaji? Let's break it down. Now, before we get into names, let's set the table. The Knicks are currently a second-apron team, sitting at 14 roster spots with about zero flexibility unless money moves out. Guerschon Yabusele makes $5.5 million this season, with a player option next year at the same number, and unfortunately there's no way around it, it just hasn't worked. That contract is the blocker preventing the Knicks from adding depth, addressing frontcourt insurance, or reacting to injuries down the stretch. So the goal here is not just talent, it's fit, flexibility, and timeline. That's where these two names come in. Let's start with Jeremy Sochan, 6'8", power forward, elite defensive versatility, and Sochan is making about $7 million, and crucially, he's on an expiring deal. Right now in San Antonio, he's been out of the regular rotation, he's received multiple DNPs, and the Spurs are clearly reshaping things around Wembanyama. Now here's why Knicks fans are intrigued. What Sochan brings is a few things: switchable defense across multiple positions, high motor, physicality, and edge, still only 22 years old, can guard wings and bigs. And yes, the offense is limited, the jumper is still inconsistent, but the Knicks do not need him to score 10 or 15 a night. They need defense, energy, lineup versatility, and playoff toughness. A realistic framework that fans have mentioned is Yabusele and Bakom for Jeremy Sochan. Now, from San Antonio's side, they get two French players, one pairs with Wemby and Yabusele, and the other gives them a longer-term wing prospect in Bakom. And from the Knicks' perspective, a defensive-minded forward, financial relief next season, and optionality moving forward. Sochan would be a bet on tools, age, and defense, but he's not the only option. Now let's talk about Zeke Nnaji, and this one is really interesting. Nnaji is 6'9", 25 years old, making around $8 million a year, under contract longer term with a few more years on his deal, and a player option on the final year. Earlier this season, when Jokic and Valanciunas were in the lineup, he was barely playing, in and out of the rotation, even getting DNPs, but then injuries hit Denver recently. And over his last 4 games, Nnaji has averaged 12.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 1.5 steals, and 1.5 blocks per game in about 25 minutes. That is real production. Now here's where the Knicks come in. Per Ian Begley earlier this year, Denver had interest in Yabusele over the summer, along with the Knicks. Denver now needs frontcourt depth and insurance behind Jokic and Valanciunas. So a potential framework would be Yabusele plus Bakom for Zeke Nnaji. And Denver might even attach a second-round pick due to Zeke Nnaji's contract length. Why the Knicks might consider this is multiple reasons. Nnaji is 5 years younger than Yabu, he fits the defensive identity, he gives you real size, and he's showing signs of growth when given minutes. Now the risk is that longer contract, but the upside, you might be getting a player who's just entering his prime. So this is the real debate. Sochan is younger, expiring, and defensive versatility and lower long-term risk. Nnaji is bigger, way better offensively, can space the floor more efficiently, more rim protection, already producing right now for Denver, and longer-term upside but more commitment. One of them is a bet on defense and flexibility, the other is a bet on development and stability, and both are far more realistic than a lot of fantasy trades that we've seen floating around. So Knicks fans, now I throw it to you. Which move would you make? Would you rather take a swing on Jeremy Sochan's defense and expiring deal, or do you lock in Zeke Nnaji's size, age, and recent production, even with the longer contract? Drop it in the comments, as I've been reading everything lately and this debate is getting real interesting. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and sub to the channel for more Knicks news and updates you will not want to miss. It's been KNYT here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.